Good evening, everyone. Western Po Boy coming at you. Tonight, we're going to be filming the very clips of how to make this Mooji inspired chai recipe. But I'm going to double it so I have my water pre-measured. 5 teaspoons of Assam tea. You can replace those with tea bags of English or Irish breakfast if you choose. By Twinings and certain other companies that sell those tea blends. One of the teaspoons of this Assam tea, or one of the tea bags of your choice, of the whatever of those other two choices, whether caffeinated or decaffeinated, can be replaced with a tea bag of Darjeeling, but there's a certain time you put that in. Same with the certain variety of spices going into this. 2 to 3 inches of ginger crushed or finely chopped. I'm going to finely chop it. 1/2 a stick of true cinnamon. I got that right here. This is what true cinnamon looks like, folks. You see all them layers of flaky bark right there? 1/2 tablespoon of black peppercorns, crushed. I got some freshly ground black peppercorns, so I'll use it. It was ground not too long ago. 5 to 6 whole allspice berries, crushed. 3 to 4 whole cloves, crushed. 6 to 8 cardamom pods of green cardamom, crushed. 2 black cardamom pods, crushed. 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon of fennel seeds. 1/2 teaspoon of anise seed. 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. There's a very specific timing to add that one. 1/2 teaspoon of either brahmi or also known as bacopa or gatu kola. 1/2 teaspoon of tulsi. 4.5 mugs or cups. The mug I used is pretty standard as a coffee mug. 4 water, something like this, very standard, or something of similar shape and sizing to it. Three-fourths of a mug of half and half. One teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now the optional ingredients, besides the tulsi and your choice of bacopa or gotu kola, the other optional ingredients are a few pinches of saffron if you have them. They have the strands. A few pinches of licorice root. I coincidentally have the few pinches of licorice root. Over there, I'm going to use it. 2 whole star anise, which I have as well. I'm going to throw that in. And a few pinches of udwine seeds, 2 to 3 are all you need. That. I also have them. Well, actually, I won't factor the whole star anise is optional. I forgot to mention that is actually one of the main ingredients. You can leave it out if you've had a history of tit cancer or have estrogen balance problems. You can leave it out. Now, that being said, let's go to the next clip. Thank you. Let's get to the next clip, and I'll show you how to crush with a mortar and pestle. The right spice in the right order. Good evening. If you hear any background noise, ignore the window scratching and howling. Sorry about that. In your recipe, what you want to do is just take a mortar and pestle. I don't have the right mortar for this, but it works because I've come from another one that cracked when I was using it. This is cheap made, but whatever. This is for the allspice berries. You just take one, pop it one at a time like that, gently tap it. Don't make the shit spill out if you can help it. You're not gonna do this with a knife. Get down now. I'm sick and tired of that hard-headed shit. I swear, folks. I swear to God. Next will be your We put them in a jar. We put the little ring, the lid piece on, not the ring, but the lid. You just press it down one at a time. You get your black cardamom and get the seeds crushed open a little bit, like that. Pop the other one. The same process. Get the seeds crushed just open, just a wee bit, just a wee bit. You throw that in your little jar. Next, your star anise, individual stars. You like that, then you just try to avoid what happened to me with pieces twice, if best you can. I'm not telling you you suck if you can't. I'm not like that. That's not how this works. You're not in it for points. If you're being just a plain fucktard, life's full of points for stupid questions. The last thing would be your penultimate thing, actually. After the cloves, so I'm doubling the recipe. And after the cloves, your penultimate thing will be your cardamom, or your black peppercorns, and the final thing will be your cardamom. Now be careful, when you start crushing on the cloves, they will immediately start jumping out if you're not careful. It's just like, probably just a hair less severely, like, you know, just a hair not quite as bad, just a hair under the allspice berries for jumping out of popping out of the more pestle when you try cracking them. Just a hair less severe and bouncing out of there. Oh, baby. And this is how you do. And then, you know, after you did your black peppercorns, the same way. You just pop one at a time, crush it like you would with allspice berry. Just being careful. What you do here is just do a couple at a time like this. Crush the seeds open and then do another one or two in there. I accidentally popped 3, but I'll make it work. Get the seeds cracked open a little. And then swirl around, get that motion going, and then you just keep doing that until they're all done. And then the fennel seeds you can do, but it's not necessary because you're going to extract them just fine. Just fine. You can easily learn. You can actually just. I'm going to have a separate video on how to dice. Finally. Chop up ginger one day. I'll show you my own handwork on how I do it. I don't do it fast. I'm not trying to be a professional Iron Chef with speed. I'm not trying to be Gordon Ramsay here, folks. I like the hell out of the guy, though. I adore the fuck out of him. Anyways, that would be how you do. Oh, the lat. I was wrong. Final. Take this half stick of true cinnamon. See? Look at all them flakes. Now all you gotta do there, put your hand over the jar and just crumble it by hand, because you don't need more pestle. You just pinch it off and it just flakes. It comes apart like that, and you just pop that bitch in there. The fennel, the ujwain, and fennel and ujwain, and what was it? Anise seeds, I meant to say. They don't have to be crushed. They'll be extracted by the rest of the by the cooking process just fine the way they are. But you can crush them a little if you want. You would do that lastly. There you go. All those whole spices you want to crush, how you crush them. Thank you for watching this clip. I forgot to mention. The other optional ingredients. The optional ingredients just to refresh people. Get it as accurate as possible. Instead of my fuck up from the first clip, I'm still keeping it. You'll watch this with me. Work with me through the process. A few pinches each of saffron, Ujwain seeds, and licorice root, as well as tulsi seed powder, which they have, as well as rose petals and buds. And lastly, the half a teaspoon of your choice of Brahmi or Gotu Kola, and half teaspoon of Tulsi. Half teaspoon. Those are your optional ingredients. Another funny thing, though, you can actually swap the Tulsi and the choice of Bacopa, or which is known as Brahmi, or Gotu Kola can be swapped with Shatavari and Ashwagandha. Have a little aphrodisiac effect. You could actually increase them to a teaspoon each, or half a teaspoon of one and a full teaspoon of the other, depending on your sex, your biological sex, and the neuropsychological expression, which properly would be known as gender at that point. Watch the gender separation peddlers screech now. Wah 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 wah. Anyways, here we go with the next clip. Hello again. Now, this clip, I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to tell you what I did. So what happened here? This has come to a boil, and I just put all but my Darjeeling tea bags worth of tea in there. So the only thing I left out. As you see, it's coming to a boil. You can see all the hard steam. I put all the ginger. So doubling the recipe, I doubled the amounts. I used 6 inches worth of ginger in length. And you'll see how I did it with my video that's probably going to predate this one, showing how I cut ginger my way. And I'm only really going to admit, this is how you could start yourself out. And not just stirring without touching or scraping the bottom of the pot with the knife I cut the ginger with, because it'll rinse it off. It actually does multiple functions, believe it or not. You let this cook, boil for certain, I don't know, about 5 to 10 minutes if you want. Boil it, let it reduce some. Let the extraction of the ginger really kick off. And then you can just, it pre-rinses the ginger and all the other stuff in the oils off the blade. So by the time you just run your finger across it and rinse it and do the same, and then re-rinse it, by the time you just run it through and rinse it off fully on the sink, it's completely clean. Especially if you wash your hands prior to doing that, freshly, make sure your fingernails are impeccably clean and all that, sanitation. By the time you do that, and you'll be fine. You're not going to cross-contaminate it. That's the whole point. I'm going to use a ladle because scrape the tea off the sides. Stir it occasionally like this, and then you have it. Let it come back to a hard boil without you interrupting the cooking. Just occasionally stir like that, and just ladle it, and then just go around to scrape the tea leaves off the side gently without scratching the inner surface of the pot. Okay. Thank you for watching this video so far. Thanks for being patient and watching how I cook this chai. When I get to the right time, the next clip is when I add the fat, the half and half in this case. You can use cream, coconut milk, coconut cream, a mix of coconut milk or coconut cream with dairy, cream or milk, or straight up half and half. I have a goat's milk and cow's heavy cream half and half. That's what I'm going to use. Nice little sweet spot in the properties of dairy. If you're going to go off the Ayurvedic ideas about the different dairy sources. It smells beautiful, folks. Now, this is also the perfect time to add a pinch of or two of salt, or my salt blend. You will see that in the future Well, and I'm going to let you know how I do that pretty soon, actually. In the near future. Believe me, the near future about this. And, Did I read off if I said nutmeg too? Yeah, I did. I read it. I'll have that ready for you. Yeah, you can add a couple pinches of your salt or my salt blend recipe to this as you desire. And yeah, I'll see you when this is finished. And the time to add the dairy or dairy substitute, a real fatty variety of basically. But yeah, see you then. Oh shit! Here it comes, the first mug of the half and half of my formulation. Give me a little scrapey spatula right here and get that going, baby. Let that really. You can do lactose-free half and half of the regular cow dairy, the full cow dairy, lactose-free half and half if you want. While the lactase in it has broken the lactose down, it has effectively left you still with, 2 sugars. 2 sugars instead of 1. It's very unique smell. Now that's done. I'm probably just going to chug the last of this because I feel like it. Because I want it. So anyway, you let this come back up to a cooking, to a bubble, to a hard boil, and then we'll get to that when it happens. You let it, you give it a good, you continuously stir it when it comes to a bubble, and you do the rest of it, and I'll show you how that's done for the actual cooking. I'll see you then. Get your ass down, girl. Get it. Alright, I'm running the cat off for my countertop because I have a lot of stuff on there I still got to get off of the countertop. Here it is. It's come to a cooking. It's almost a minute. So what you do though, this is where the tea bags in question, while you're keeping it stirred down, and the darkening of the brew, it is going to happen like you should want it to happen. Now I use my little Beast Boy fang there. Thank God I don't have the green skin from the Sakucha or whatever the fuck it's called virus and being made to an anamorph to save my ass. Ugh. This thing had been twice as long as it was. That actually hurt. Maybe 3 times long. Fuck on. There we go. Beast Boy and Raven, I've seen this meme and that made me cry my eyes out. Raven, can't we screw like normal? She said no, turn it to a worse again. Yes, honey. Totally not losing my shit, I swear, folks. Not a cry for help. Now that is the fucking way. Since you got that infusing now into the brew. You just do this. Give it a good stir. Let it cook for a couple more minutes. And then you cover it. A few more minutes. You cover it after you turn the heat off. Turn the heat off after you cover it. Let it cool down and steep till it's warm enough for you to stand. It's just rubbing the smooth bottom. It's not actually scraping it. Yeah. Cook it like this for another couple minutes. Now, but anyway, like I've already said it, I will get to it when it's able to be strained. I'll see you then. Before clip 6 of the chai video, I have already added the half to 1.5 to 1 3/4 teaspoons of vanilla and the 4 pinches or 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and let it steep for a little bit before the inevitable straining. Continuing on, shall we? Alright guys, what do? Get you a vessel that's able to hold the cheese, the muslin cloth in this case, really. Cheesecloth, muslin cloth, double layer or single layer, whatever. It's whatever the hell you want to do. What you do is you just start ladling this in bit by bit, and let the liquids run through. And eventually, it's through the muslin cloth, you know. Take the tea bags out, squeeze them a little bit. Ow. That's a little warm, still warm. But, it's okay. You keep this held up basically. You just keep doing this until you get it all down the... And then what you do, what I like to do is I use like a 1/4 teaspoon of raw honey, or I use a 1/2 teaspoon of, when it's cooled enough, if I have it, royal jelly, fresh royal jelly with raw honey mixed in. And then I do the rest of the way with Reb A or Reb D isolate from stevia and monk fruit or Luhan Guo extract that is concentrate in the powder, standardized to be 25% of a compound known as Magroside 5, the best and sweetest tasting of the Magrosides in monk fruit. You gotta stir it sometimes, you know, and then lift up a little bit. Lift up a little bit on it and get it behind there so you can get your thumb around it and keep it held like that, and stir it some more. And yeah, you go like that. There used to be a grand tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remained the drug that's the high and not the pill. But did you know when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. But now that your rose is in bloom, the light hits the gloom on the grave. Anyway, I'm gonna get this strained out, and I'll show you how I sweeten it. And I'll show you exactly how I do it when I do it. When we get to that, okay? That'll be the absolute final clip of this vid, I swear. Yeah. Anyways, see you then. What's up? Here's the final thing. It's been strained out. strained out. What I'm going to do, got me a little something unique. I don't have royal jelly with raw honey in it, but I'll use something very mineral dense for amongst the honeys. Only, I don't know, something around a quarter teaspoon for this big bunch. I've had to eyeball it with a butter knife, before, about like that, and then I just stir it in. It's warm, but it's not hot. Stir that in, and then what I'll do is I'll go from there and then add a little, you can use same amount. Start up with Jaggery if you really wanted to. It's just something I just felt like doing. And then I got, you're crazy and I'm out of my mind. All of me loves all of you. You're mine. Anyway, I like John Legend. You all of me. You give me all of you. Anyway, set this down under the funnel I'm going to use to bottle it, because I got me a buttermilk jug I recycled for this purpose. It's been washed good, thoroughly. Anyway, probably going to do that in one shake or two. That. And then I'll probably eyeball a quarter of a teaspoon of the monk fruit powder, about like that. Actually, just a tiny dusting more, about like that. And then stir that in, because I use Reb A isolate from Stevia. You can use Reb A or Reb D isolate, or if you've got a combo of the two, or a 50-50 mix of the two, that would work as well. You can get them. Whoop. Now. The reason I'm talking about this is because that little bit of honey, it's not enough to really meaningfully do carbohydrate alteration, really. And I'm gonna use literal teacups for drinking this out of around brunch. Really not that big of a issue. Don't go too crazy and overboard with it. Like that. If I really wanted to make all the spiced and spice it, like little spice powder remnants that are in the bottom, settle out before I did this, and before I strained it and then sweetened it after, that'd be fine. But the little bits of the really fine powdered shit does not bother me, so I'm not doing that. But anyways, you just do this, taste test it, see if it works. If so, so I'm about to do, since some right here, and then see if it works. I would start out with even though it's a big batch, I would honestly start out with a quarter of a teaspoon of each one. Honestly, an eighth of a teaspoon would not be too careful. Ooh, To me, that's a little bit more than a tiny bit more than I would prefer, but it's still okay. Also, not going the full two teaspoons of the vanilla is really was an all right call. So yeah, you just fill up your preferred storage container and go all out. Fill that fucker up, baby. Whatever you got left over, put it in a little mason, like a pint mason jar or something, which is probably what's going to happen, because this one's already going to be right at the full fill mark for me. That's my fill mark for that. And thank you for watching. It's been West Shrimp Po' Boy, showing you how to make chai. All my steps on how to make Mooji, partially Mooji inspired chai. If you don't know who Mooji is, he's a guru from Jamaica. He learned from the philosophical and spiritual doctrines known as the Advaita Vedanta. And he learned from certain other gurus who learned from the same teachings. Not gonna lie, if you just like studying philosophy and cross-referencing different theologies with transtheistic literature, besides certain what's best about things like Buddhism and stuff, certain transtheistic teachings, go right the fuck ahead. Advaita Vedanta is right up the alley, right up that alley. Anyway, everyone could learn a little something from that. I use a little bottle just for the hell of it. Yeah, everyone can learn a little something from it. Don't get me lying. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you around. Hope you enjoyed my chai recipe. The Mooji inspired chai. This version of it is Mooji gone Sattvic, I guess you could call it. See you around, folks. Thank you for watching this all the way through. Very appreciated. Highly appreciated. Ta-ta for now.